Hi, I'm Hannah, founder of Love to Dream. So we've laid down the first 3 foundations for healthy sleep, setting up day and night, creating the ideal sleep environment and best ways to swaddle, identifying the super important tired signs and interpreting different types of cries. Now we're going to look at foundation 4, which is all about self-settling. We've got some easy tips that really work to get your baby nodding off to sleep on their own, which is a strong skill for them to develop for the coming years. Our sleep angel Courtney will show you how.
Self-settling or self-soothing is the ability to go to sleep on your own without any help, a vital skill for your baby as they get older and a saviour for you. If your baby is given the time and space to self-soothe and plenty of opportunities to practice this from the start, it's what they will learn and continue to do, and they'll find comfort in this. All healthy babies are capable of self-soothing from an early age, if all their basic needs have been met and if they're in ideal sleep conditions. And once babies learn to self-soothe, not only will they be able to fall asleep on their own, they'll be able to fall back to sleep whenever they rouse between sleep cycles without your help or the need of any other sleep aids. I'll be honest, it takes a little bit of time and it doesn't magically happen overnight. But if you're consistent with what you do when laying down the 4 foundations, your baby will be self-settling and sleeping like a champion day and night. Here's how to achieve this. When it's time for sleep during the day and night, swaddle your little one and put them in their bassinet cot or crib when they're drowsy but still awake. Quietly leave the room so they can't see you to give them the time to start self-soothing. Just like anything else in life, practice makes perfect. The more practice your baby gets to settle themselves without anyone to help or any sleep aids, such as rocking or feeding to sleep, the better they'll become. And the earlier you start laying down these foundations and giving Bub the opportunity to practice self-settling, the earlier your baby will pick up on these healthy sleep habits. In the first few weeks after birth, you can start practicing putting Bubs down while they're drowsy but still awake, so they get used to lying down to go to sleep. Choose at least 1 nap a day and their nighttime sleep to put them in their cot to fall asleep on their own. If you want to do it for all their day naps and overnight sleep from the beginning, this is absolutely fine as well. Whatever you feel most comfortable with and are in the position to do. From 4 weeks old, we recommend you try doing this for all naps and nighttime sleep. So put your little one down when they're tired but still awake, so they are given the opportunity to self-settle. At the start, you might hear or see these things when they're trying to self-settle, so be prepared. They might put their hands in their mouth to self-soothe, grizzle and fuss at a low level, let out a little cry, nestle and rub the back of their heads in the mattress, and talk or sing as they get a bit older. That one's a bit nice, isn't it? These reactions are all normal to the self-settling process. Your baby doesn't need your help or any intervention for these. You can try and sneak a peek, but make a point not to go in to check on them the second you hear a cry or noise, as you're interrupting and stopping them from doing the self-settling themselves. It's like if you're in bed starting to drift off to sleep and suddenly someone walks in the room to check on you. Even if they're super quiet, it's probably going to interrupt your drowsy state and wake you right up. The same for Bub. We absolutely encourage you to go in and comfort your baby during the self-settling or resettling process if you feel you need to. We don't want you or your baby ever feeling distressed. If Bub needs help, help them. But just remember, the more you go in to help them, the more you're interrupting their self-soothing process and their ability to learn how to do it independently. If they do need some help to self-settle, or if they're woken up before they should have, here are some methods you can use to help to try to resettle them. And they can work for any age baby. You can download all these too, so don't worry about getting a paper and pen and writing them down. The first is the shush pat method. First, make sure all your baby's needs are met. Do they need a nappy change? Do they need a burp? Then, with your baby back in their cot, use the palm of your hand to pat or stroke your baby's forehead gently from left to right. Place your other hand gently but firmly on your baby's chest. Make a loud shh sound the whole time you are doing the patting or stroking. Do this for 30 seconds to 1 minute, then leave the room. Close the door a touch and continue to listen as your baby settles to sleep. You can go in and do this at intervals you are comfortable with, but make sure you're staying out of the room for periods of time in between to give your baby the chance to self-settle. Keep busy and distract yourself when you're out of the room. This is a really important one, as 5 minutes can feel like 5 hours. That way you're not just standing there anticipating when you're going back in. There may be times when you're giving your baby some hands-on comfort and support, but it doesn't seem to be helping them, and they continue to cry or their crying escalates a little. If this happens, you might be interrupting your baby's falling asleep process. So see if standing outside the room is more helpful for your baby. Wait a little while and then decide if you want or need to go in again. And repeat the shush pat method until your baby settles off to sleep. The second method is the pick up, put down method. Like the other method, first pick up your baby and make sure all their needs are met. Do they need a burp? Do they have a dirty nappy? Hold your baby and be sure to stay in a stationary position, meaning no rocking, patting, or walking back and forth. Offer comfort by repeating some key sleep words of your choice in a hushed voice. Do this for a short period, say 30 seconds to a minute. Once your baby is calm but still awake, place your baby back in their cot or bassinet, leave the room, and close the door on your way out. If your baby isn't becoming calm while you're holding them and is becoming irritated, take this as a sign that you're not actually needed at this moment. Place them back in their cot or bassinet and leave the room. Continue to listen as your baby winds down. Repeat the process if needed, but try and wait for a longer period before you enter the room each time. Of course, you need to feel comfortable with how long you wait. Lastly, remember that babies are vocal when they're winding down. It's easy to misinterpret this as distress. Parents can often intervene only to disrupt the wind down process. Just keep in mind that if you're constantly going in and offering support, you're not giving them the chance to wind down themselves. Practice makes perfect for you too. You're learning as well, so go easy on yourself. If you muck up the timing or if you forget because you're tired and you run in, that's okay. It's no big deal. If your baby is crawling or walking or practicing these skills, then you may need to help them lay down if they've pulled themselves up and are unsettled. Just gently lay them back down on their back and continue with the same settling support. If bub is sitting or standing and they are not upset, you can leave them to it. But if they are upset as well as sitting or standing, then you can just gently lay them back down. The most important thing to remember is consistency is king. So avoid chopping and changing methods. It can confuse your little one. Choose your method and try and do the same thing over and over again so your baby gets a clear, consistent message. It might feel like it's taking a long time, but then suddenly it starts to work. I think self-settling is a huge life skill to teach a baby. There is so much to gain from it years on. Remember to look for the lesson summary below this video. You'll find extra information links and you can download printable guides to refer back to when you need them.